Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double-up game played with myself and JDP El Grillo. But the little wrinkle in this game is we're actually going to be seeing things from Grillo's perspective. He was recording the game. His perspective in this game was more interesting. And so we're going to be seeing the footage from his point of view. Now, if we actually had replays for Teamfight Tactics, this wouldn't be necessary, but it doesn't look like we're ever going to get them at this point. So fortunately, both of us are recording our games with out-of-game third-party software, and we're going to see this one from Grillo's point of view. Now, the reason why I asked Grillo for his perspective on this game is he ended up playing a really interesting setup here. And that's going to be characterized by the augment that he takes here at the very beginning of the game. You might have seen we have a Heimerdinger encounter. And what Heimerdinger is doing in this game is he's going to make the first augment prismatic. I don't love this one. It's not one of my favorite encounters, but so many of the encounters do like insane loot fiesta nonsense. This one is actually not one of my least favorites anymore. It's actually kind of okay. Because when the first augment's prismatic, it's enough to give direction to your game. I really don't like it when the last augment is prismatic because you can kind of be playing one game and then you get like an insane curveball, 60% of the way through the game, and suddenly whatever you're playing doesn't make sense anymore. But anyway, this game's going to be characterized by the initial augment that Grillo's going to take. And eventually he's going to go into heavy enforcers, but it's going to take a while until he gets there. So we are going to see an enforcers game, but we're also going to be something characterized by the initial game augment that he takes. This is going to be a strong example of a tempo game that is leveling aggressively and trying to play from ahead, that is valuing board strength very heavily. Okay, here's the first augment. As mentioned, it's going to be prismatic. Some decent options here. Dual purpose sounds like it's really good, but it actually doesn't turn out to be that good. I remember when we had data on augments, which we don't have in this set, it really wasn't that great. Firelight Crown's kind of interesting, but Grillo's going to take this. Spoils of War 3. Enemies have a 40% chance to drop loot when killed. So I am personally not a big fan of the prismatic Spoils of War, and I seem to remember that this one, back when we had augment data, did not perform especially well in the data. It is a very high-risk, high-reward augment to take, because if you kill enemy units, you actually get a tremendous amount of loot when you're playing, if you're actually getting kills. Like, you get just insane amounts of loot with this. The problem is, though, that you are down a prismatic augment because you don't get any combat power from this. Everybody else has gotten a prismatic augment that gives them something, that makes their board stronger. This does not. All this does is it means when you kill enemies, you have a chance to get loot. So it can be really strong because every time an enemy dies, they have 40% odds to drop something. That's usually a coin, but not always. I'll have to try while I'm recording this video to see if I can look up the table for this, because I remember that there is a Spoils of War table out there that has the specific data on what Spoils of War does. Now, this, of course, has been changed at various points in time over the course of the various sets, but I think it's still around here. All right, Spoils of War. Okay, here we go. This is from an older set, but I think it's still reasonably accurate here. So it says 40% chance when something dies to drop loot. It's 70% odds to get 1 gold, 20% odds to get 2 gold, 10% odds to get 3 gold, and then you can occasionally get bonus chests as well. The chests will have either a component, 8 gold, 2 champions, a high tier champion, a lesser champion duplicator, and then extremely rare you can get a champion duplicator or Tome of Traits. So if you're killing things, you're going to be getting a lot of gold, right? Like, if you're killing things, you're going to be getting a lot from this. And like, you saw that Grillo went ahead and aggressively leveled to level 5 there so he could play an additional unit. So he's basically going to be relying on Spoils of War for his economy in this game. He's going to be trying to punish weak boards, kill enemy units, get a big win streak going, and farm enemy units for loot. By the way, he would have lost this round, but fortunately I'm able to get there and preserve his win streak. And that's pretty significant because, remember, he's leveling aggressively. He's playing a tempo board here. He kind of needs to preserve a win streak if he's going to get his econ up and running. So that was actually a really good result for us. So far, I wouldn't say that Grillo has anything in particular. I was asking him throughout this game, is there anything you want me to send you? Because, like, I'm happy to try to grab champions, but Grillo himself did not really know what he was going to be playing. He was just trying to grab, like grab pairs, grab units that might make sense. So he hit the early 2-star Aurelia and he hit the early 2-star Powder, and he's just kind of been playing around them. I sent him an initial Rel because Rel was enough to get Sentinel trait in, and I think he was looking to try to get Conqueror trait in as well to get another econ stacking benefit. But I see that there's a Darius here, but the Darius doesn't really fit his board, so hopefully he can manage to get some kills here. Yeah, he's getting several gold coins worth of drops in like every one of these rounds. But remember, if he doesn't kill things, he doesn't get anything. So this like works great, but it's kind of a very fragile setup. He actually did get back to 10 gold there. So even though Grillo leveled aggressively to level 5, he made it back to 10 gold because I think he got, I don't know, like 6 or 7 gold just dropped from Spoils of War. So he got a lot of value out of that. And he's just going to have to try to keep this win streak going. So this is, as I said, a very high risk, high reward setup here in this particular game that he's got. All right, so third pick on the carousel. I was in this game, but I can't remember off the top of my head what he took. Okay, it looks like he took another bow here. Currently, he is getting scrap value on the Powder. I wouldn't say Powder has items you really want on Powder, a Rage Blade, and what's the other item that Powder has? I have to check back here. And okay, and she has a glove. Okay, so I think that Grillo wanted to make a Last Whisper here because he wanted to play into something physical damage. So Rage Blade, Last Whisper Powder, perhaps something like that. He picked up the TF. Of course, TF deals magic damage as well. All right, so he sells the Powder. So Rage Blade, Last Whisper, TF. Okay, I'm sure Grillo is fully aware that TF deals magic damage and that this is not like the unit you want. All right, can he level and get Steb in? All right, there we go. So like, note that he again makes the tempo play. He's gonna level to level 6 on 2-5. So he has 6 units in right now. This is, again, what you do if you're trying to be super aggressive, you're trying to win streak, you're not worried about getting econ from the interest in your bank, you're trying to get income from killing units with Spoils of War. Some of you might remember back in set 9 when there was the Legends mechanic where you could like pick one of the TFT units, and you would be guaranteed certain augments to show up in the shop. There was like this period of like 3 days where the Draven Legend was like super overpowered, and this was basically the gameplay that everyone was running at the time. Like everyone was, Draven I think gave you Spoils of War, and Spoils of War was like super overtuned. So everyone was running the Draven Legend, and everyone was like leveling super aggressively, and it was just whoever could build early game boards and like get a ton of kills and then snowball off of that. And that was like the whole thing that everyone was doing. So this is like a snapshot of what the game was like for a very brief point in time in set 9. All right, looks like Grillo has gone ahead and put in a Kali to get Quick Striker trait in for the moment. I mean, he doesn't really have that much, but because he's been leveling so aggressively and slamming items very aggressively, it is helping him out a good bit. So if he can win this round, he gets his win streak preserved all the way through stage 2, which would be really nice. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people are playing very greedily. They're playing weak boards, and they're just trying to go max econ in stage 2. And like Grillo is playing a strategy that punishes that pretty heavily. So it seems to be working out. Oh, he actually got a chest, and he got double Scar drops from that chest. Again, remember the chest, I think the chest drop like 5% of the time. I don't have exact stats on how often the chest drop, but like he just got 6 gold from that by getting double scars to drop. I don't think he's gonna play these scars, but like he can sell them for 6 gold. And like that kind of pays for the entire aggressive leveling right there, getting that treasure chest with double scars in it. So far the Spoils of War, again, high risk, high reward, but it's kind of working so far. Right now, yeah, he's gonna sell the scars because like he's level 6, but he's already back to 20 gold again. Like he's not down at like 5 gold. He like actually has a decent economy here, despite leveling to 6 so early on in this game. He can actually sell more of these units if he wants. Although it looks like he's gonna try to play the set there for a bruiser trait, potentially on level up. But yeah, he managed to get back to 20 gold and got some more item drops there as well. So we'll have to see where Grillo decides to take this next. As I said, it's a very unorthodox gameplay style, and I don't know that I would have been... Grillo's always been more willing to play like these crazy tempo games. As you see, I sent him a Camille there. He's always been more willing to play these than I am. Like, I just tend to get a little bit too nervous, get a little bit too dizzy playing this style. Okay, he ended up selling the sets as well. So he's at level 6, 32 gold here on the 4-match winning streak. That is not bad at all from an econ perspective. So he swapped in Swain and swapped in Gangplank for Form Swapper trait. Also does have Conquer trait. Looks like Gangplank's going to roll a scrap item here. And this person is at least also level 6. This person's playing the pure econ route, level 6, 50 gold. And then it looks like they're going to play into Rebel trait because they have a Rebel icon over there. And then they also have an Artillerist icon, so I guess they can play like Ezreal Rebel. Looks like that's the direction they're heading. But yeah, Grillo is just annihilating this guy. His early Gangplank is doing a tremendous amount of work, and I think he farmed another 2 or 3 gold that round off his Spoils of War. Even got another 2 or 3 Conquest stacks as well. So now it's time for the second augment, and this is also going to characterize Grillo's game. Look at what he has. He has Pandora's items as an option, so he could look to go in that direction. Power up, your next augment's 1 tier higher. He could look to go for that and maybe get another Prismatic for the last augment. But he's going to take Pandora's Bench, gain 2 gold at the start of every round. The champions on the 3 right-hand side tiles are going to reroll into another champion of the same cost tier. This is another high-risk, high-reward one, and I have famously had really bad luck when running Pandora's Bench. Just for whatever reason, I have trouble making this work. But like, he actually has gotten an early Zoe and an early Vi here. And so he can actually take them and look to try to re-roll them into other 4 costs. And he's actually going to play the Vi here. And I can't remember if he plays the Zoe or re-rolls the Zoe into a different 4 cost. Okay, he's going to re-roll the Zoe. So note that he makes the tempo play again. Grillo is leveled to level 7 on 3-2. He's already level 7 right now. But that put 2 traits in play. It let him play the Vi, who getting a 4 cost unit this early on in the game is very, very strong. This person actually has a Heimerdinger over on their board. And look, he just got another chest that had a sword in it. So that's another component for free. And then that unit dropped 3 gold back there. So I think he made 7 gold and got an item component from Spoils of War. Anyway, so he's playing Vi super early. Vi made Enforcer trait and Pitfighter trait. And he now has 6 traits in right now. And his economy really isn't that bad, which is kind of wild. And and because he's such a high level so early, he's actually seeing a decent number of 4 costs in the shop. So he's just going to reroll them. He already has another Vi, and it looks like he's going to roll again. So now he's going to reroll. I think he's just trying to see if he can spot any more 4 costs. He does have 10% odds to get 4 costs. All right, well, there's 2-star Swain, and he finds an Alawi in the star. He actually could play the Alawi if he wanted to, because that would give him a Sentinel trait, right? No, he already has 2 Sentinel in. Never mind. I mean, I guess he could drop the Aurelia and play the Alawi, but it probably makes more sense just to re-roll the Alawi and see what else he can get. He's going to go ahead and make a Bloodthirster on Vi using that sword that just dropped out of the anvil. So he has 2 out of 3 Vi's. I mean, if he gets a little bit of luck here, and he gets another Vi to pop up, I mean, he does have a Zoe and an Alawi re-rolling over there. He could have Vi 2-star at like some disgustingly early level. He also already has a 2-star Swain over there. So Grillo, again, has 4 gold in the bank right now. He has 4 gold in the bank, but he is putting so much pressure on this lobby. It's absolutely insane because like everybody else in the lobby who's playing like a standard game, they just have boards that cannot deal with his board. He already has 2-star Swain. He has a Gangplank back there. He has 2 out of 3 Vi's. Like, his board is already super duper strong. And like, if he can take another 4 cost here, he can just have them play Pandora's Bench Roulette again. I think he is trying to take another 4 cost here. Although I think they're all snapped up, so I guess that's not a possibility. Okay, that's not a possibility. So he's going to take the Ziggs, and I believe he uses this to make a Hand of Justice on Vi, which is a pretty good Vi item. If you're, I was going to take the Rod, but then that gets snapped up. So it's like, well, I guess I'm getting a belt here. If you're curious what I'm doing in this game, I am playing a Vertical Academy build. I actually got an Academy emblem from the initial minion round. And that gave me +1 Academy, and I've just been playing into that. So Grillo's been trying to get me some Academy units for my board. My board is actually pretty strong as well, but it's just not as strong as Grillo's board, who is winning these rounds at an insanely fast pace over and over and over again. So anyway, he's going to make the Hand of Justice, and then he has the components to make a Quicksilver Sash, so he's going to do that too. Again, tempo, 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 tempo. Everything that Grillo is doing is pushing forward the pace of the game as fast as possible. My understanding is that this kind of playstyle is more common on the Chinese server of TFT. I could be wrong. I've obviously never played any games on the Chinese server, but I have heard that the gameplay style often pushes a very, very fast, very aggressive tempo on that server, and that the NA server tends to be a little bit more patient. Doesn't seem like one playstyle is necessarily better or worse, because you know, NA's done quite well at TFT Worlds, and China and Korea have also done quite well at TFT Worlds, and Europe has done very well historically at TFT Worlds too. So it doesn't seem like there's one playstyle that's definitively better than another. But in this game, under these circumstances, it seems to be working out because Grillo looks like he's going to win this round, and that's a 9-match win streak right there. Plus, he printed another 3 or 4 gold from spoils. He's also winning quickly enough that he's coming over to my board in a lot of these rounds and farming even more spoils of war value, which is great because it's helping me win streak. I think I would have won most of these rounds, but I would not have won all of these rounds, not without Grillo coming over to my board and helping out over and over again. And oh, look at that, the high roll. He just got a Vi from Pandora's bench. He found 1 Vi in the shop, and then he re-rolled into 2 more Vi's on Pandora's bench. So he has a Vi 2-star on 3-6. Like, holy moly, that's a lot of power to have this early. So that, I think it was at about this point that Grillo decided he would start building his team around the Vi, because he has the early 2-star Vi, and I think he thought he could maybe try to play around some of the other enforcers, but really he was just going to play around whatever he got. He does have an Elise and an Ambessa re-rolling on the bench right now to see if he can play one of those units. He probably could just take out the Trundle and play the Elise, honestly, because the Trundle is just giving him scrap trade, and that doesn't seem that valuable. Okay, yeah, he looks like he decided that he would hold on to the Elise right there, and that he would go from there. So overall, as I said, a very unusual game, but I think it's going pretty well overall. And it certainly was going well for me because Grillo, oh, look at that. And then his chest just gave him a LeBlanc right there. Holy moly. That's one of the things that can pop out of the Spoils of War chest. I believe you can only get that from the prismatic version of Spoils of War. But you can get a high-cost champion. And since he's level 7, the high-cost champion's a 5-cost. And now that's going to reroll into another 5-cost, and he just got a Kate out of it. So again, at this point, it was like, okay, I think it's time to play Enforcers. He has a 2-star Vi and a Kate on 3-7, which is just absolutely ridiculous. That's good to hear. All right. Just gonna type one thing here. I got a message coming in while I'm recording this. All right, so it's another minion round, and not as much of interest here in the minion round. Again, Grillo's looking to reroll any 4 and 5 cost units, which he didn't really have there. But now that he's back up to 41 gold again, I believe he goes to level 8 here because he wants to continue pushing tempo, and he just wants to have better odds to get those 4 and 5 cost units rolling in his shop. We also decided together that we were gonna try to hold Vi's at this point in time because we thought that by having 4 Vi's this early, and with Vi not being a particularly popular 4-cost unit, that he actually had a decent chance to maybe get a Vi 3-star in this game. So we thought that we'd try to make a play for that and go for it. So I decided I would keep an eye out for any Vi's I might see in the store. Because if you have 4 this early and you have Pandora's Bench to reroll the units, you have a decent odds to hit that. So again, the combination of Spoils of War and Pandora's Bench is just pretty wacky here in this game. Grillo was able to go up to 4 Enforcers. Also has the 3 Form Swappers. He put Elise on the board to help provide a little bit of additional front line. And again, he's just continuing to swap into higher and higher tier units over and over and over again as the game goes on. He did drop down to like 4 gold, but then Spoils of War, I think, took him back up to like about 10 gold again. All right, time for the final augment. It is a gold augment here. Out of the different options, Grillo was looking at these, and he ends up taking Reinforcement. His logic was, if I can find a Vi in the store, then I could be on 7 Vi's already. I don't think this was the right call, though, because you get so many 2-star 4-costs from Pandora's Bench anyway. I don't think that this was the right one to take. I think it would have been better to take an augment that did something that more than just give him the chance to get a 2-star 4-cost. Reinforcement, I think, is good if there's like 1 4-cost that you absolutely need to make your team work. But Grillo's kind of like flexing around whatever 4-costs he might hit. So I don't think that this was necessarily the right pick. He ended up deciding he would just buy one of these 4-costs right here. And then he would just Pandora's Bench re-roll it. And then just see what he could get out of it. So I believe he ends up buying the Twitch here. And then it's just, he's just going to stuff it on Pandora's bench and see what it re-rolls into. So I don't think that that was like the best possible value to get out of the last augment, but it actually ends up working out reasonably well for us. By the way, look at how much gold he gets this round. This is absolutely ridiculous. He got another chest as well, although I think we have to wait until the next round starts to figure out what's actually in that chest. So both of us still have not lost a round yet. And look at the rest of the lobby. They're down on 30-something HP. The amount of pressure Grillo has put on the lobby by doing this, he is sucking so much health out of the lobby by being so strong all throughout the game over and over and over again. It's pretty wild. All right, so what ends up happening is his, by the way, here comes a chest, and he actually doesn't even have space for it, so look what pops out. Oh, he gets a spatula. I was like, whoa. He actually got a spatula to pop out of that chest. I believe that's like a super low odds for that to happen. So now he wants to try to make an Enforcer emblem, and the recipe for that is vest plus spatula. So he needs to try to get a vest here. Unfortunately, this component anvil did not have vest as an option. But remember how he bought the 2-star Twitch from his reinforcement? The 2-star Twitch re-rolled into a Heimerdinger, and I was looking at his screen. I was like, can you send me the Heimerdinger? Because I'm playing an Academy board, and I actually had rolled it down on level 8 and not found any Heimers. And like the one unit I needed most of all was a Heimerdinger. There was another person playing Academy, and they had taken a bunch of Heimers out of the pool. So I was like, oh, can you send me the 2-star Heimer? So basically, Grillo's reinforcement augment got us a 2-star Heimer that he then sent over to me. So, I mean, that was really good for my board. It made my board much stronger. It allowed me to get up to 5 Academy with a 2-star Heimerdinger. But it didn't really do a lot for his board, but good guy Grillo being a great teammate as usual. Now there's actually another spatula on this carousel right here, and Grillo's third pick. So when we saw the spatula on here, we were like, that's actually good that there's a spat, because someone's going to grab the spat, and that means this rumble is left over for Grillo to grab. He's going to get number 1, a vest, so he can make an Enforcer emblem, and number 2, he gets a rumble out of this as well. This could not have gone any better, because this is Enforcer emblem plus a rumble. Rumble is going to be just an amazing addition to this team. Also gets a Savika here, which is nice too. Also picks up a re-rolled Elise over there, so now he has Elise 2-star. Definitely has to get the Rumble on the team, so he's going to move out of some of these units that have been on the board a long time. He's going to go ahead and move out of the Gangplank. He's going to go ahead and make the Enforcer emblem. Going to put it on Elise for the moment. Elise is not really the right person to put this on. Would be better actually to put it on the Savika that's being re-rolled on the bench. And then he's going to move the Gangplank items over to Caitlyn. One thing I think Grillo should have done here is he should have tried to make Spear of Shojin for Kate. Shojin's actually one of her best items. He instead makes Giant Slayer, Last Whisper, Rageblade. Now, are these terrible Kate items? Absolutely not. But Rageblade is actually not a very good item on Kate, and that's because she spends so much time lining up her attacks. She just doesn't spend a lot of time auto-attacking in these fights. So, like, is this terrible? No. But the Spear of Shojin would have been a better choice to make there. And then the Rageblade could have gone on someone else. Now, he doesn't really have a lot of good Rageblade users on his team. Enforcer comps are not actually great for Rageblade. Maybe Twisted Fate? I'm not exactly sure. By the way, we did finally lose some rounds. Grillo lost the last round, and then I lost the last round as well. So now it's time for the anomaly here. And there are some good choices here. He could put it on Caitlyn. He could put it on Vi. He could put it on Rumble. All those would be pretty good choices here. I would probably look to put it on Vi because she's the 2-star 4 cost that he has right now. And let's see. See, Grillo's rolling through quite a few. 55% more AD would be good on Kate because she is like an AD caster. Repulsor would actually be decent on Vi as well. Knockback units, Cull the Weak, crit chance. Okay, I believe he finally takes this one, Dramatic Entrance. Combat start. Oh, no, does he take this one? No, I think all right, he doesn't take that one. He takes this one, Diving In. On first cast, leap to enemies and stun in a 2-hex radius for 1.5 seconds, gain 25% attack speed, and Omnivam. A good choice for Vi, definitely. I typically do not roll that much. I tend to try to take something quickly because I don't like to spend a lot of gold re-rolling the shop over and over again, but I don't think that was a bad choice for Vi at all. All right, so yeah, now Grillo's got the 6 Enforcer in. Now here's the problem. He has all of the expensive Enforcers, right? He has Kate, who's the 5-cost Enforcer. He has Vi, who's the 4-cost Enforcer. He has the Twisted Fate, the Loris, and the Camille, and then he has the Emblem. What is he missing? He's missing the 1-cost Enforcers. He's missing Maddie and Steb. So he actually wants to play 8 Enforcers here, but the problem is it's going to be really hard to find the 1-cost Enforcers because he's going to be going to level 9 here in the near future. So I actually said I would keep an eye out for them. By the way, there's another chest that drops a sword. That's pretty nice. Could still make that Spear of Shojin for Kate, by the way. But yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye out for Maddie and Steb because he really does want to play 8 Enforcers. It's very, very strong. But, you know, you have to find the Maddie and the Steb in order to play them, unless he finds even more emblems. So there's Maddie in the shop, so that's good. But he still does need to find a Steb if he wants to play 8 Enforcers, and he definitely does. So here is the official trait description for Enforcer. It's one of the big vertical traits here in set 13, but hasn't really gotten played that much because it's typically seen as being a little bit underpowered throughout this set. Okay. Combat start. Enforcers gain a shield and damage amp. So that's the first thing it does. All the units gain a shield and they gain damage, or they get a shield and they gain damage amp. So the deeper you play into the trait, the bigger the shield and the higher the damage amp. Right now he has Enforcer 6, which is a 30% health shield and 33% damage amp. Now here's the secondary part of the trait. The highest health enemy units become wanted. Whenever a wanted enemy dies, Enforcers gain 30% attack speed. Well, here at Enforcer 6, 4 units become wanted. So when any of them die, the Enforcers will gain additional attack speed, 30% additional attack speed. If he can get up to 8 Enforcers, 5 units will become wanted. He'll get 40% health shield and a 50% damage amp. 8 Enforcers is really, really strong. It's hard to get to it because it requires an emblem, but it is very, very, very strong if you can get up to the 8 Enforcers. And typically that characterizes how people play this trait. Normally people will not play Enforcers unless they can get an emblem because there's only 7 Enforcer units. But if you can get the +1 and get up to 8 Enforcers, suddenly the trait becomes really strong. And Grillo not quite able to win that one. He did get up to 6 Vi's, and he's up to a Kate pair. But again, 6 Enforcers, decent but not amazing. It's when you get up to the 8 Enforcers that it really kind of hits the tipping point. By the way, there's another Vi via Pandora's Bench, also another Rumble as well. This is also a gift rounded. Look at that! Look what came over from me. Grillo is going to get 2 components. On the TFT, on the gift round, but I sent him a Steb. I found a Steb in the store. So yes, it does feel a little bit ridiculous to use one of these late game sends on a 1-cost 1-star unit, but sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's what you need. Grillo needed a Steb to play 8 Enforcers, and I was able to find one for him, so boom, there you go. Now he's got a Steb in there, and now he's got the 8 Enforcers, so that makes the humongous shield. And it means 50% damage amp for every Enforcer. Plus, you can see the wanted units. The wanted units have like a little icon over their head. Every time one of them dies, every Enforcer gets 30% attack speed. So, you know, if he kills 4 of them, that's 120% attack speed for the entire Enforcers team. It gets pretty nutty pretty fast. Also, why Rageblade is just not really that useful on Kate. She just doesn't really need attack speed that badly because if you're playing deep into Enforcer's trait, she gets all the attack speed she needs once the enemy units start dying. So yeah, not to keep harking on that point. Just like that's why Rageblade's not a good item on her. All right, so time for the second half of the gift round. Boom, another Kate pops out. That's really nice. And it's also the also time to finish making these final items here. So Grillo he actually picks up another Steb in the store. So I guess I didn't need that send. I guess that send only helped him for 1 round, but we didn't know another Steb was going to show up in the store. And now that a Savika has popped off the Pandora's Bench as well, Grillo is going to move out of Elise with the Enforcer emblem and over to Savika, and it really is better on Savika. By the way, a little small thing Grillo did that's worth commenting upon. Notice that he used the item remover to take the Enforcer emblem off the Elise. He did not sell the Elise. And the reason why he did that is he wants the 2-star Elise re-rolling on his bench. That's why he has it there. Like, he wants that item re-rolling on his bench, or that unit re-rolling on Pandora's Bench. So that was the reason to use that instead of just selling the unit, because now he can get a 2-star 4-cost. Maybe he can re-roll into some other 2-star 4-cost, and that would be really, really good. But now that he has the 8 Enforcers in, I mean, he has a 2-star Kate, he has a 2-star Vi on an 8 Enforcer board. I mean, Kate is just annihilating people every time she ults. It's not close. And he has an insane amount of frontline, too, because, like, the Vi and the, the Vi takes forever to kill. He's got Rumble up there. And, yeah, his Pandora's Bench is still delivering more units over here. He even got the lesser champion duplicator, so maybe you can use that on Loris or Steb or something back there to 2-star yet another unit. We're actually down to just one other team in the lobby right now. And I'm going to take this Savika with the death cap on it. I think Grillo might have taken that himself because he is playing Savika here. But he's going to end up taking this Sterix instead. And let's see. All right, he gets 2-star Cookie. Got another Vi from Pandora's Bench too, though. So that's pretty good. Now he's on 8 Vi's, so he's 1 Vi away from Vi 3-star. He also now has the champion send back. He's going to send me the Jace. He's been holding on this bench, and boom, that's 2-star Jace from my board. And he also hits 2-star Rumble himself. And there's the Steb. Okay, we managed to get a Steb. So there's also a TF on the bench too. So he buys the Savika, and then he has enough gold left over to, well, he needs to do something with this Sterix. Now, he doesn't really have a good Sterix user. Maybe wasn't the greatest item. Might have been better to take one of those tank items for Rumble, but I think he just ends up putting this on the Camille. I think Camille is the best unit to put it on. Not that 2-star Camille is really going to do that much, but why not? This other player has a Nocturne with some artifact items, has their rapid fire cannon and a sniper's focus. So, like, that's quite strong. Like, a 3-star version of Nocturne with that is quite strong, but it doesn't beat 8 Enforcers, and that board's gotten outscaled pretty good at this point. There we go. There's 2-star Savika and champion duplicator on the Twisted Fate. Boom. So this board is just about finished at this point. One very minor note that I'll say, Loris should be in the middle of the team because Loris's ability when he uses it is he redirects and blocks some of the damage from the 2 people standing next to him. So that's kind of getting wasted right there. I actually make that positioning mistake myself, but I figured I might as well mention it because we're in an Enforcer build where Loris is like one of the key units. He probably should be in between like Rumble and Savika or something. All right, this is the other board this person's playing. It looks like a Black Rose Dominator Chem Baron board to some extent. Yeah, it looks like they got some kind of Chem Baron cash out, but I think it was only like a 300 stack cash out. It wasn't one of the like totally insane ones. And again, 8 Enforcer Caitlyn is just, I mean, it's pretty ugly. Kate is just completely destroying this other team. And like, although I am winning my rounds as well, I have 6 Academy in with like 2-star Heimer, 2-star Jace, 2-star Ezreal, 2-star, I think I have a 2-star Alawi with a Academy emblem on her and double Steadfast Heart, which was the one of the Academy items. Like, my board is quite good, but it's not this good, basically. It's not as good as this. And so for right now, Grillo is just trying to find that last Vi. That's the only thing we want. We want that last Vi so we can get Vi 3-star and get the capper to this game, because he's basically hit every single thing else he could possibly hit. It was either that or look to go to level 10, and he wanted to go for the 3-star Vi, because, you know, he's on 8 Vi's. And Pandora's Bench for the win. Pandora's Bench delivers the last Vi. I was looking for it. I never found one. Of course, Grillo had like 7 or 8 of them when I was looking for it. But he finds it. So now he has 3-star Vi on an 8 Enforcer board. So that seems like it should be pretty strong overall. If you're curious about what Vi's ability does when she goes to 3-star, her ability is, when she uses her ability, it's gain a shield for 3 seconds, stun the target for 1.5 seconds, then slam them down, dealing physical damage, causing a shockwave, enemies hit, take damage, and are knocked up. Her damage quadruples when she goes to 4-star. Yeah, it quadruples. The base damage goes from 325 to 1200. Yeah, so, and she has 8 Enforcers too. I mean, yeah, that's about what you would expect to have happen. Grillo tears through this board, and, you know, I was going to win. I was going to win against that other player, but, I mean, I win pretty quickly with my 6 Academy build, but I don't win 8 Enforcer with 3-star Vi quickly. I'm not that fast at winning these rounds. All right. Well, Grillo's video cut out, but I'll put in a screenshot of the ending stats here. I mean, a really interesting game. I'm so glad that Grillo was able to record this and send me the footage. Again, just tempo, pushing things aggressively, putting pressure on the lobby. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. If you fall behind the pace of the lobby, that Spoils of War is going to do nothing to help you out in combat. The Pandora's Bench does nothing to help you out in combat. If you fall behind tempo, this can become an 8th place finish very rapidly. But this was the example of a game where Grillo got ahead. He stayed ahead. He farmed tons of loot. And that was pretty much GG, so thanks for sharing this with me. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a great week, folks. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.